Well, it's episode 280 here on the Gratu Orloff program. It's February the 12th, 2021, and this is going to be an important episode because I've been up here for about an hour in room 1, floor 7 of the Bronze Age Comics room, and I just discovered a whole nother box of comics, and I think I could get this done by the end of the weekend. And supposed to have a possible snow blizzard coming Sunday, so that should be interesting. 3 to 7 inches of snow. That doesn't happen very often here. There was we just had a little bit of ice yesterday, but people didn't really know it was there, and there was a horrific 130 something car and truck crash on I-35 in Fort Worth, and people died, and you see it, people were actually recording it as it happened, and it was like the Blues Brothers, cars up on top of trucks on top of cars, and it was horrible. And that was I didn't take that exact stretch of the highway, but I took I-35 every morning to get to work, until all of this started. And then of course I retired in the middle of the flu fad, and so I just thought, man, that was real close to where I drove. And it's so make sure you say a prayer for those people that are in the intensive care, a lot of critical people, and so that was pretty horrible yesterday. I was going to do a second episode yesterday, but I saw that was happening, and watched all of that. Anyway, so let's get working. So here, let's see what am I doing here. I've got some Amazing Spider-Man comics that I need to file in. Let's see, 158, 161. These instruction sheets, the instructions for the Aurora model. So let's see if I can get that. Okay. Come on. Amazing Adventures, Amazing Adventures, Amazing Adventures. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. $158. Okay. One minute. Let's go through some Thor comics. Oh, brother. Where am I going to put this? Oh, this is driving me insane. Oh. Oh man, I thought I had this all figured out. I'll see what I can do. Alright. Okay, sorry about that. I realized I'd stacked boxes on the chair where I sit. Well, the big impeachment trial moves into a new phase today. Today being Thursday, the president's lawyers are going to testify here in a little bit. Okay. Okay, Pilgrim.
Ford, you Ford. The car that you should buy.
Okay. See, when they started Sesame Street, they tried to make it sound like commercials, which is why these old commercials sound a lot like Sesame Street to us now. I didn't realize that in 1969 when I was 4 and tuning in, Sesame Street, part of the first generation of Sesame Street viewers, what they were really trying to do at PBS, which was it was really created to help kids that were growing up in the inner city with rats and lead paint peeling on the walls and gunshots going off all the time. It was meant for them, since they had, in a lot of cases, no books in their apartments or homes, and it was meant to help get them up to speed so they won't be way behind when they get into kindergarten. So I wasn't really the target audience in that sense of Sesame Street, and I didn't realize that was what its goal was. But I should have, seen the Mad Magazine parodies of Sesame Street. They say if Sesame Street really did what its mission was, and it's like, who are the people in your neighborhood? The pusher is a person in your neighborhood. The flasher is a person in your neighborhood. And I'm thinking, boy, they're really being mean to Sesame Street. But that probably, the gang member is a person in your neighborhood probably would have resonated more with the kids they were trying to target. Okay, I found a bag of comic bags. Now here it is. Well, sometimes things work out well. Maybe things will work out well for Trump's lawyers today, because when they did their opening statement on Tuesday, everybody, and supposedly even the president, didn't like their performance. Okay, so here we got Thor 206.
Some terrifying surprises. And if you're lucky, you just might win a year's pass to the movies. No purchase necessary.
Again, I'm out of backing boards, so I will have to come back and do all that at a later date. Here's 209, the Day of the Deadly Druid. It looks so much better on YouTube when you don't have the comics in bags or my lights, because no reflection. $2.10.
Making America great again. Brought to radio.
I should advertise it. Naked comics, nude comics, comics in the buff. Take the comics out of their bags. Comic book striptease. Thor 211. Kirby was over at DC at this time, and Thor kept punching on. Like when Biden, during the debates, there was a question about like something like spousal abuse or women abuse of women. He says, this is a problem. We just need to just keep punching at it and punching at it. And it's like everyone's looking at him like, are you insane, you old man? Or using the analogy of, using the metaphor of punching at violence against women. Oh, boy. Well, I listened to a crying woman this morning on YouTube saying that a few months ago she was paying $60 a month for a box of insulin for her son, who doesn't really use a whole lot of insulin compared to some other people, but he's had, you know, he has had diabetes since birth, and now it just went up to $500 now that Biden's president, because of one of his executive proclamations. And she got it for $350 because she had some kind of coupon from the manufacturer, but next month she's going to have to pay $500. She says, we can afford it, we can absorb it as a family, but a lot of people can't, and a lot of people spend more. So anyway, that's a swell thing. And then they Biden just released Trump's medical records, so to show that his when he had the big disease, that it was worse than they said. Yeah, so that's a real class move to release other people's medical records without their consent. But oh well. We don't talk about politics here on the Garage Orlov channel. I've been torturing myself, filing comics and hard on my back, and watching the Democrats last several days in the impeachment trial. And I know it's been torturing you guys too, and you've been pointing that out in the comments, how torturous it is to hear those demon rats. But today should be a new day. We get to hear the other side, talked about, the times that Maxine Waters and those people have encouraged violence over the last summer and last couple of years. All right, we're up to 218. Thor Fights Alone. Oh, I have 2 copies of this. If Thor should fall, a world must die, but none should slay a god. Yeah, we're gonna get these comics organized somehow. Come on, Bags. Come on, Bags. Hercules. Thor 223.
I sure like the convenience of my Bank America card.
Now, everything you've seen I've bought at a later date. But this is the first copy of Thor that I actually bought on the newsstand.
Here they were having a sale, and there I was without any cash.
So there's a Galactus appearance.
But I had my Bank America card, so when the girl asked what I wanted,
Ad for Vampire Tales.
that, I said. And 2 of those. And charge it. Fine, she said.
The artist.
Boy, did I get a bargain.
Rich Buckler.
Thanks to my Bank America.
Well, this morning I was watching, there's a YouTube channel called Bossa Nova Life, and this couple, this married couple that are kind of these hipster types, are really into tiki, and they interview tiki people into tiki culture and rockabilly and surf and hot, classic cars and 1950s stuff in general. And first I thought they were kind of obnoxious hipsters, but I got used to them a little bit. And they were interviewing some artists, and so I was watching that this morning while I had my breakfast, and then showered, came up here, and started to plug at it. And today is, wait, what is today? This isn't Thursday. This is Friday. So my friend will come visit this evening. So I got to get that other room organized. Oh man, these weeks fly by. Okay, so there's a new WandaVision I need to watch. Last week I got in trouble because I went ahead and watched it before my wife. My wife caught on that I'd seen it before her. But this time I'm going to be good and wait and watch it with her. I was going to try to pretend and just watch it with her and act. Oh wow. But oh well. I made a comment about the Vision's hairstyle in the last episode, and she must have thought, well, he must have seen it. And I just said, well, I saw pictures from this new WandaVision, and I commented about his hairstyle, but she figured out, oh, he must have watched it. And what my comment was is that the Vision, with his hair cut in the kind of weird style, and then the Scarlet Witch, I was telling her, look a lot like this New Age UFO guy that we watched named David Wilcock. His hair is kind of like that, and the Vision with his hair like that looked a lot like him. And then David Wilcock's wife is like a, what do you call a good witch? A white witch, a witch that believes in Jesus and stuff, whatever. She's like a. So David Wilcock is actually married to a witch, and she looks a lot like the actress that plays Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is the sister of the Olsen twins. Did you realize that? The little weird mutated freaky from that, what was it? Who's the Family Boss or something like that? I don't know what it was called. I never watched it. I just knew there was these obnoxious little weird kids that played one kid. I guess because child labor laws, if you have two identical twins, you can get twice as much work out of them on one rest. Yeah. Scarlet Witch is the sister, I guess the younger sister of whatever the Olsen twins. If this be death. Okay. I was thinking, boy, this artist did a good simulation of Kirby's art. Then I realized, oh yeah, at that point Kirby was back at Marvel, and for a while they just had Kirby do the covers of all the comics, pretty much. And he didn't do the interior art. The interior art's really good. It's by somebody. Oh, John Buscema. Yeah. But yeah, Kirby is back doing Thor art on the cover. They play a lot of commercials on the Ratu Orlov channel. They're really, they must be in financial difficulty.
Now, your Ford dealer breaks tradition to bring you a car you never expected from Detroit.
Let's count how many commercials there are before they play the next song. I'm starting to get disenchanted. Maybe I need to put on Rush Limbaugh or something. I used to hate Rush Limbaugh. I thought he was so obnoxious, but again, another obnoxious person that I grew to like, and he's really ill. But he still appears on his show like very often, even though he's going through heck.
Not in the classical sense, of course, but there are those who thirst.
See another commercial. Okay, commercial one. We're gonna count how many. All right. So this.
What if I told you I possess the power to give you eternal life? Right now, at this very moment.
I'd say you were marvelously mad.
It still has the UPC code. I don't know if it was from a pack, because 262 has that diamond and it still has the UPC code. The 264 has the diamond and then it's blank, which definitely means I bought this at One Star Comics. It was definitely a... Then 267, you can see I bought it at a newsstand off the spinner rack because it has the normal looking thing without the diamond and it has the UPC code. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters, but it didn't used to, but now I think it's starting to matter. People are saying newsstand copies are maybe more valuable. I don't know.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. This is Jonathan Mathias with a bulletin. As the Sino-Russian border war continues to rapidly escalate, U.S. authorities are beginning to question to what degree we will become involved in what could swiftly grow into global conflict.
I always like the look of that
Will
guy.
keep you informed on further developments.
Coming into Los Angeles. Don't touch my bags if you please.
This is Jonathan Mathias again. A report just received indicates that the fears of a
267.
global conflict are now a reality. Ballistic missiles carrying deadly bacilli germs have been launched. We urge you not to panic. Please stop whatever you are doing and calmly proceed to the nearest shelter. The military has assured us that U.S. defense perimeter missiles are capable of
272.
protecting this country from destruction.
Abort firings, abort firings. Interception will fragment bacilli carrying missiles. Repeat, abort firing, abort firing.
274.
The end has come. The Earth begins its sleep. But incredibly, one man is left alive.
Joe
The
Biden.
Omega Man. A brilliant scientist, now alone in the universe.
Tony
And
Fauci.
suddenly, the last man alive
276.
is not alone.
Imagine if Tony Fauci was the Omega Man. What a different movie it would have been.
Hating those that destroyed, hunting down the one thing that can cure them. The Omega Man.
What is he?
277.
Scientist. You are the
Oh, I
red
remember
fuse of
what
the
this
past,
happened here.
And you die.
Something,
Last living reminder of
some
hell.
kind of drop of liquid fell on the back of this. I remember how traumatized I was by that. So I bought a second copy.
From Warner Brothers.
I actually remember that
The Omega Man
incident.
is rated GP parental guidance.
I don't know what happened. Just some drop of liquid hit it.
This DJ sucks.
Shit, I'm gonna tell you, boys, that's some of the best goddamn
Okay,
music we've
277.
ever done in a long time.
Boy, 279. I'm missing 278. Shit. 279 really does draw attention to those boobs. A Hammer in Hades. Oh, Don Glut was the guest writer. I'm his friend on Facebook. He did a home Spider-Man movie like in 1968 that you can see on YouTube. He used the Captain Action Spider-Man figure for stunt shots. 285. Oh, okay. Damn it. One minute. $291. We're still in the 70s. This is 1979. Oh, Pete, don't do that. Oh, shit. Pete, that's not a good spot for you. Let me get you out of there. Here, hold on. He's afraid that would happen. Now you can go there. Oh, shit. Yeah. Pete, now you can go there. Now you can go there. Whew. The cat jumped into a half-filled comic book box. Hope I didn't show my ass crack when I did that. Okay. Move the little Spider-Man figure. Pete likes to come in and sleep on that chair when I'm in here, and I put a comic book box there at the beginning of this episode. So it wasn't his fault. He came in and jumped into a comic box. Okay, let's get these store comics in here. Teen Titans. Tales of the Teen Titans. Thor. Okay. Okay, Thor 196.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue.
Okay.
When Captain America throws his
Thor 196. 2 196 is 198. 2 198s. 199, 2 199s, 200, 201, 202, 201s, 202, 203, no, 204, 205, 206, 209, 210. 211. 212, 213, 214, 215, 216. I have 217s. 218, 218. I have 218s. Maybe I should sell these duplicates. Two 221s. This was all done by accident. 220, 220, 222s. That's hard to say. I have only one 223. 225, then my childhood 228, 26, 228, 229, 229s. I think this was made into a Mead binder, trapper, school supplies. They used this cover, I think. I don't know if that makes the key issue. If you get a chance to see this movie, Satan Sadist, it's a lot of fun. Although it's actually a little brutal. 233, 239 has Russ Tamblyn in it. who was in West Side Story. He was also in Twin Peaks. 240, kind of a cult actor. 248. 251, 252, 253. I have two 253s, 256, 258. $262. You gotta get a clock in this room. 264, 267, 272, 274. 276, 277, 277, 279, 282. $285, $291. Okay. $292. This thing's in the way. 293. Yep. Star Trek the motion picture ad on the back. $294. Did I just show you this? I don't even remember. I'm on autopilot. $296. $299. This Marvel comic could be worth $2,500 to you. I wish. So when are we going to get our stimulus checks? Our $1,400 ones, because, you know, we already got that $600. Cry of the Death Angel. 1980, and they're still trying to sell these Roman soldiers to kids. What did they cost by that point? Oh, they were up to $298 at that point. All right, let's get these Thor comics in the box. Let's see what other T comics I can raid out of this box over here. If I can make it over there. Oh, what a mess. Oh, what a horrid mess you make when first you strive to organize. This is disrespectful to my childhood teddy bear. Oh, there's more Thors. Oh, of course, because we haven't even gotten up to the Beta Ray Bill era. Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, lots of stuff coming up. Tomb of Dracula. Ah, shit, what did I do?